So I was listening to an interview recently that was interesting on many levels, but there was one thing about it that I really wanted to talk about here today. The woman was born in Senegal, Africa, and eventually worked her way to the United States. And this was in the 90s that she worked her way into she says, a six-figure income. Don't know exactly what it is, but in the 90s, a six-figure income would have put her, I don't know, maybe what, top 5% of income earners? Back then, that was a lot of money. And it was interesting because she was born in Africa, black woman, 20th century immigrant with all the language and cultural barriers. She didn't have strong roots, not a large friendship or family network here to help. She didn't have any advantages, right? She didn't have anything going for her, and she still made top 5% of earners. How did this happen? I think I know at least part of it. She's obviously an intelligent, charismatic person, and if you have that going for you, that gives you a huge advantage. But I think that there were some other lessons in her story that we can all gain from. So essentially what happened was when she was born, she was still very young. Her parents immigrated to Germany. Now they left her with her grandmother so that they could make the dangerous trip into Europe and get themselves set up without a toddler. And so when she was 7, she said that her parents went ahead and sent for her. They had themselves established to a point where they could bring her up there. And I guess a few years later, they immigrated a second time. They immigrated over to France. And so this was the second immigration she went through. And then as a young adult, shortly after she got out of school, she immigrated to the United States, where she got a job and started working her way up the ladder and developing her career. And it didn't take her very long before she had what most people consider the American dream, the nice home, the nice car, job she loved, where she was extremely successful, building her family, and all in a very short period of time. And I think one of the things that I see is people often tell me that they are frustrated with the fact that they don't see any way for them to advance. They feel stuck in their current position. And one of the things that we see, as I listened to her talk, she was born in the epitome of stuck in poverty, right? There's talk about no opportunity. She's born in Senegal, Africa. Now, I think her parents gave her a great gift, because what they taught her was, when you're stuck, change something. And that lesson that she saw demonstrated by her parents as she was growing up, of when there's no opportunity, find opportunity, be there. Huge lesson. And I think that helped her all throughout her life to continue to be successful. Now, obviously they made a huge change, immigrating to a new country. That's a massive change. Of course, with huge change, a lot of times you get huge success. There's also huge risk. How many immigrants actually have such a story? In fact, a lot of immigrants tragically don't even make it to their destination. When they get there, they might scrape by and do okay at best. Maybe they were doing better in the new location than they were in the last location, but how many actually achieved top 5% in the new nation that they went to? And especially in the 1990s, to go from Senegal, Africa to the United States. The United States was still very wealthy then. And so, reached the pinnacle, really. And that's a rare story. And the reason we're talking about it is because it is a rare story. So don't ever jump into huge change, but understand that if you can find a way to make a large, significant change, a lot of times you put yourself in a position of opportunity. Now, there is another person that I listened to that was talking about, he was born in upstate New York in a very small rural town. And he recognized very early that he needed to put himself in a position of opportunity also. And he talked about luck being created, right? Make your own luck. One of the ways that you can make your own luck is go where there is opportunity. If you find yourself in a position where there's no opportunity, then just being surrounded by opportunity, at least you have a chance. If there's no opportunity around you, there's no chance. But at least if you put yourself in the right position, at least opportunity is there. Now, that's not the only thing you do. He did several other things, but just getting yourself into a position of opportunity. Again, for you, that may mean it may be moving your location, but that's a huge move that maybe you're not comfortable making. Maybe that would be a bad idea for you. I don't know your circumstance, but there's also, maybe you change companies, maybe you change careers. Again, those have huge risks. I don't know your situation. I can't tell you, you need to change your career and go get a job at another company. Maybe you don't. Maybe that would be completely wrong for you. But just the idea that if you're stuck, looking at what you can change, and even if it's just the smallest change that you can make with minimal risk, and you make a change, work that out, make a change, work that out, and you just iterate your way, tiny small steps, little tiny changes, so that you are never putting yourself out into a position of too much risk, but you are at least advancing, and maybe you get to a point where you recognize an opportunity and you are comfortable making a bigger step than you otherwise would be, and you have factored in what the risks are and what your contingencies are. This is something we'll talk about more in a different video, is mitigating risk, analyzing risk of change. But for this video, what I wanted to just instill in you is the idea that if you're stuck, then the best thing you can do is look at what you can change to put yourself in a position where there is opportunity. And for everybody who hears this, that answer is going to be different. There is no one answer. It's the idea. Start thinking in this way, and in future videos, we're going to keep adding on all of these building blocks that you need to advance yourself. But is there any reason why you're not capable of getting into at least the top half of earners, maybe the top 30 or 40% of earners? Who knows? Maybe you're capable of the top 5% of earners. Why? Why not? Why not you? You can do it. Until the next video.